Hi, everyone. Jean here. How is everybody doing today? Well, it is the new moon, which is fabulous. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel because if you subscribe and like my channel, it would help me so much to grow this channel because, guys, I need your help. So tonight I decided, yeah, I'm in my bedroom. I call it the parlor. And I am going to kill two birds with one stone. And that is a Caribbean thing. We killing two birds with one stone. And what I mean by that is I have all my laundry on the bed and I need to fold them. And I didn't have time today because for the last 2 days, yesterday and all day today, I was online in Zoom doing some workshops. Yeah, lots of workshop. Yesterday workshop was about creating 2026, and I love that workshop. That was with Landmark. And today I did two different workshop on Zoom today. I did one on Soma breathwork. And let me tell you something. Oh my God. I think if every one of us in the world was to do this kind of a breathwork, life would just, we would live so much happier and so much better. Really and truly, it was a treat to do that workshop. 2 hours of breathing. Yeah, my body feel, excuse me, my body feel really, really lovely and different and expansive and floating and all the things. And I think it was just right that I get to do that on the new moon because it seriously it just shift everything about how I was feeling since January began. I can honestly say that I am feeling a shift in my in my body and in my mind and in my spirit. I'm feeling a nice deep shift in that, and mentally as well. And I think for me, when I get to do anything that is in alignment with my mental and spiritual and physical and emotional body, I think I find the most joy in doing things like that. So tonight, yeah, if you see that I'm not looking at the video directly, as I mentioned, I am doing folding up my laundry because it's on the bed and I have to get it done. I also need to do this video for you, well, for myself and for the person that is looking on. I needed to do the video, so I just thought, well, why not? Why not, right? So the question I have, excuse me, seems like I'm just burping here. I guess I'm still releasing from all that nice deep breath work. So the question I have for you today is what makes you feel good? What are the things that really makes you feel good? Especially in your body. I always, I'm one of those people, I walk around saying all the time, I want to feel good in my body. I want to feel good in my body. And I think we all want to feel good in our body. But most of us don't even know what that feels like, what it feels like to feel good in your body, and in your mind and in your spirit and in your emotion when it's almost everything is aligned. So that's the question I have for you. You know, how do you feel good and what makes you feel good? So the third workshop I did today was on forgiveness, and I did that workshop with a woman from A Course in Miracle. And you know what? I've known about A Course in Miracle I think since I begin like my spiritual journey, without recognizing that I was starting a spiritual journey. You guys, I don't know if you've been following me, but if you have been following me, I spoke about Marianne Williamson book, A Woman's What? And I recommend that book for every single woman, A Woman's What, Marianne Williamson. In that book, she shared a lot about, it's almost a book about the patriarchy and how, what woman role was like in society. And but mainly it is based in A Course in Miracle, right? Most of it comes from that aspect from her. So I do recommend that you read A Course in Miracle. And so this forgiveness workshop, yeah, it was one of the deepest thing that that I have done really on forgiveness. I know about forgiveness. We have to forgive ourselves. And if something really happened in our life with other people, we have to forgive them. But mainly, we want to forgive ourselves as well, because the whole idea is forgiveness is not really about ultimately the other person. Forgiveness is about you forgiving yourself for whatever it is that happened or didn't happen um, in the relationship, or whoever it is you need to forgive. Oprah always say that, when you do not forgive people, or when you dislike people, or you have a dispute with people or with someone, and you're not liking them and you hate them and you want fire and brimstone to kind of fall on them, and you're so angry with someone else and you're blaming them for your problems and what they have done and what they did to you or what they didn't do to you, and how much you hate them and you don't want them in your life and all of that. And you walk around with this energy of hate. You walk around with this, and like, it's so the analogy that I've learned is that it's like you are drinking poison, right? While you hoping that the other person, I don't know, die or whatever, but I'm the one drinking the poison. I hope that makes sense, right? The whole idea is that when you hold on to dislike, and you hold on to hate, and you hold on to anger, and you hold on to the grief, and you hold on to the hurt, because you believe that someone else is responsible for that. And ultimately is that at the end of the story, you are the one that is responsible to release that from your system, because you can hate as much as you want, but technically you're not hating the other person. That is poison within your own system. You're poisoning your own self, right? And sometimes we can't help it. There are things that happen in our life when we just cannot help it. Something happen, and we get upset and we get angry and we lash out. I mean, this is something that, with all the work I have done on myself, with all the work that I have done on myself, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, with all that work, I found myself very angry this past week. So much so that I actually lash out with my anger. And to be honest, I haven't lashed out in anger like that in many years. I just haven't. And I found myself feeling so much anger. But here is what happened after feeling all that anger and lashing out at the other person. I realized that I actually had to ask that person for forgiveness. I actually had to say, forgive me, because the delivery in what I had to say wasn't really proper. The delivery in what I could have said could have been different. I didn't have to lash out in that type of anger. But sometimes it happens, and it really happens to me. So if it's something that happens to you, please know that ultimately at the end of the story, you have to rethink how you package things for people, or how you deliver the things that you want to say, because you could be angry and still deliver something to someone without lashing out, without that anger. And so I had to ask for forgiveness for that. Yeah, so in talking about, doing the forgiveness session, the Soma breathwork, and taking the program with Landmark, creating 2026, those 3 days, those 2 days, and, you know, lots of time and energy online in Zoom, really and truly have me thinking and reflecting. And that's why tonight I just decide to do something very easy and casual, like fold my clothes while I talk to you guys. Because they gotta get full. I'm not one of those people that like, I really don't like folding clothes. I really do wish they had a machine that not only wash and dry, but fold. So then you just pick up your stuff and you come home. I tell you, I am very privileged. I live in a world where I'm very privileged because I have a machine washing my clothes. But I can tell you now, if I leave and go to the Caribbean or go to Grenada, um, not only do I mostly sometimes have to wash my clothes with my hands, and hang it up on the line outside and go pick it up when it's raining. Sometimes you put the clothes out on the line and it starts to rain and you have to run out, and it's a whole day's work when you're doing laundry in Grenada or in on most islands, especially if you're hanging your clothes out on the clothesline. And I have so much privilege here because I get to put my clothes in a washing machine, and I can go to town, I can go grocery shopping, and I can come back and put it into dry, and do something else while I'm doing that. But anyways, the topic that for tonight is what makes you feel good. What are the things that really and truly makes you feel good? Because I got to tell you, whatever that is, I need you to run towards it. Whatever the thing that really, really make you feel good in your soul, literally in your soul, I want you to leave everything you're doing and run to that thing. But that being said, the question of what makes you feel good, and for me, it was always, feeling good in my body. I can walk around months going, I need to feel good in my body. I need to feel good in my body. And I forget that there are tools for me to feel good in my body. And I can run towards those tools, because there are times when, you're feeling terrible and you just don't know what the solution is to all that terrible feeling, when the truth is you have a whole arsenal, a whole toolbox full of things that could make you feel better. And I think sometimes we just love being in our own misery, so we don't even go towards our toolbox. We are like, oh, we are steeping in that feeling of misery because somebody did us wrong or whatever it is. So, what makes you feel good? What it is that you can run to when you really want to feel good in your body? Well, today I found out, um, well, I know some of the things that makes me feel good, but today I found out after all that breath work, oh my God, by the time I got to the forgiveness class, it's like I was having downloads after downloads, right? And I found out that, you know what makes me feel good? Learning. Learning makes me feel really good. And I'm not speaking about going to university because I did that and that didn't really make me feel good. That was hard, hard, hard. You know, I think the only time in university I was feeling good is when I get my report card. And even then I wasn't feeling good because I always think, well, I could do better. you know, well, I could do better. You know, I need to have a better grade. Right? I need to have a better stat or whatever it is, you know. But that it didn't make me feel good. So I now have an understanding that that kind of a learning learning inside of the patriarchy where everything is like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. That's not my learning. Although it is, I have done that, but it doesn't really make me feel good. What make me feel good is when I'm learning about feeling good in my body, like forgiveness, how to find forgiveness within. And if you guys want, you can tell me because I can go in and give you some questions that you can ask. There is a lot of questions that you can ask and things that you have to write down, and you deep dive into that and you deep dive into it and you deep dive into it, right? Into those questions and answers, but definitely learning learning something that helps my mind be stronger, learning something that help my emotion, my emotional being, my emotional body to be stronger, learning something that makes my spiritual connection, my connection to my spirituality stronger. Oh, I felt so, so, so good today that I cried because I have a moment where I understood that mind, body, and spiritual things really, really makes me feel good. So yoga makes me feel good in my body. I started back doing yoga more than a month and a half ago, about 6 weeks now. And believe me, I'm not doing anything grand or anything big or anything wise. I am just doing yoga with Adrian. I don't know if you know Adrian on YouTube. She probably have like 20 million people that follow her. She's been doing yoga on YouTube now for about oh, sorry. I just kicked my tripod. Forgive me for that. Yeah, she's been doing yoga for many years now. I don't know, it must be more than 15 because I've been doing yoga with her for a while. I'm one of those people, although I am a certified yoga teacher and I can create my own program for myself, I do prefer to be led when it comes to yoga. And so I love doing yoga with Adrian. And she is just very cool to do yoga with. So yoga makes me feel really good in my body. So I need to remember that. Yoga really does it. The other thing that makes me feel really good is walking, walking in nature. And I don't have to be outside walking like, usually sometimes I'm just strolling, but I can go out and walk in nature. And by the time I get back home, I have solved world problem on walks. And usually I walk almost every day. You couldn't tell by my weight, and that doesn't really I don't even know why I mentioned that, but I love walking. So that is another feel good for me, especially mentally. You would think it's yes, it helps physically and emotionally, but mentally, walking for me is like a mental, feast, especially if I leave my phone off and I take, I stay present to my surroundings. So that is something that I just love, love, love. Um, what is the other thing that I do like some physical fitness, but nothing that says You have to have pain so that you can gain. No pain, no gain. I don't do anything that says no pain, no gain. And I wish I knew that in my youth, because then I wouldn't really overdo my body the way, when we in our youths. But I guess that's what it's there for, youth time. Look at how well I fold up my clothes. Yeah, so those are the things that I love. And I love to pray. I feel good when I go to a sweat lodge for the whole day and stay in ceremony and pray. That makes me feel good. Praying all day in ceremony, around the fire, tending to the fire, sweating, cleansing myself, cleansing my spiritual aura. I just love, love, love that. So that is some example of the things that really makes me feel good. And having a tea or a walk with a friend, that makes me feel good. That feed my spirit. It's feed my mind. It feed my connection to people. So I am going to ask, write in the comment, what are some of the things that really makes you feel good in your body and soul? Because those are mines, learning for me, but learning esoteric kind of stuff for my mind, body health. That makes me feel good. Yoga make me feel good. Walking makes me feel good. Having a physical trainer makes me feel good. Anything to do with my well-being makes me feel good. Sweat lodge makes me feel good. Praying all day makes me feel good. Being in ceremony, well, that's my jam. That's my jam. That's my jam. And yeah, so let me know some of the things that do make you feel good and what do you do? And now I was going to go, like, if I'm in the Caribbean, I can tell you what makes me feel good there, going to the beach and a few other things, but I'm going to stop here. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel, because guys, I want 1,000 subscribers by April. I want to have 1,000 subscribers by April, and I need your help to do that. So help me, right? Um, so don't forget to subscribe and like. And also, um, what is my mantra that I end here? Do less and be more. Do less, be more. Guess what it is I'm going to be doing more of? Yeah, breath work. I love it.